Hey guys, what's up? How are you all? I hope you all are doing great. Okay, and in the previous lesson, we studied about transfer payments and some methods of national income accounting, and we studied that from all the three methods they give the same result, and I told you also, and we also discussed a little bit about base here. Okay, so now in this video we are going to learn about poverty. Okay, so this lecture is about introduction to the poverty. Okay, so if I give you the introduction of poverty about India, okay, we will be talking about India only. So first of all, India consists of 26% of global extreme poor. Okay, that whatever extreme poors are in the world, 26% are from India itself. Okay, global extreme poor. So it is quietly evident that the objective that is adopted by the World Bank to end the extreme poverty by 2030 is largely dependent on India, that how India performs. Okay, according to that only the World Bank is going to achieve its objective, because one fourth of the extreme poor population is from India. So it depends heavily on India, that what are its infrastructure and what are their goals and everything. Okay, so it's dependent on this. So if I tell you about the flashback, that what was the uh, growth performance before India of India before 1991 and after 1991, because you know that at year 991 there was an introduction of LPG policy, that is liberalization, privatization and globalization. Okay, due to this it lead to a higher growth, very higher growth. Basically it lead to 1.8% to 4.3% per year. Okay, after this 1991. And if I talk about per capita income after 991, it grew about 2.5% in real terms. Yes, in real terms. And it has preceded almost 3.5 decades. 3.5 decades. Okay, after 3.5 decades we got this term. Otherwise there was very poor growth before 1991 in India. And since you know that poverty is kind of related with growth, so there was extreme poverty before also. Okay, so this was after 1991 was the something good which government has done. Okay, and after that only we actually lead to some growth. Otherwise in the previous from following decades there was just lackluster performance, very poor performance of the government. And from this after 1991, this transformation period, India has emerged as the fastest growing world economy in the world. Okay, fastest growing economies in the world. And within 20 years, at around 2011, the India is also the home of the largest number of people that have escaped poverty in the recent year. And if I tell you about the poverty line, that it was around $1.90 per person per day, and it was mentioned as 2011 purchasing power parity. Okay, but if we are going to compare India with some middle income countries, okay, the competitors of India basically, so India has not performed well in a subjective manner. And when we expand the definition of poverty, that what people consume, to include other dimension of well-being also, such as education, healthcare and basic infrastructure. So poverty has a grip on a much larger share of India's people. Like they haven't improved in such facility. Like you can see that it was $190. So most of the people, which was set in 2011 PPP, purchasing power parity. Okay, I'll discuss this PPP afterwards. It is a quite big concept. Okay, So most of the person has not exceeded very much, like they must be on $2, and which is just we cannot say that they are just above the line, just above the line. They haven't crossed such that line in such extent so that they can also get access to some other dimension of well-being such as education, healthcare and basic infrastructure. Okay, so in that terms India has not performed well. It is the poverty has a grip on the larger share of India people if we talk in terms of well-being. And if you also compare from the growth of its India's peers such as China, Brazil, and Turkey, there are many more. Okay, so it has been very less effective at reducing the poverty rate. So now the question comes is that what lessons do the past 2 decades offer for what it will take to country for the country to sustain progress and bring about deeper changes? That what are the lessons that we have learned from these 2 decades to bring some deeper change and some sustainable progress, okay, sustainable development. So to answer this question, we have to study the true meaning of poverty and its various dimensions, and what are the types of poverty and how does it affect people, how can we eradicate the poverty. So this was basically the overview of the poverty which I have given now. Now we are going to start with the main thing, that what is poverty, okay. And we will also learn that what are the steps taken by the government yet, what are the all the schemes and everything. It will be going to be covered in this lecture only. So now let's come to first main part. Now we are starting off, this was just the introduction part. Now we are starting off with static part, okay, the theory part. What is poverty? Okay, first of all, we should define what is poverty. So, poverty is a state or condition in which a person or community lacks the financial resources and we should know this, lacks financial resources and essential to enjoy a minimum standard of life and well-being that is considered acceptable in the society. Okay, so this was the definition of the poverty, that a person should have some is below that basic necessities which is required to some acceptable extent to the society. Okay, that whatever the society criteria are for some basic living extent. Okay, if we are below that, if we are not able to fulfill that also, that we are at poverty level, below the poverty level. Now we are going to study about types of poverty, that what are the different types of poverty. Okay, so first one is absolute poverty. Okay, and absolute, you can you know the meaning of absolute also, like you are not comparing your poverty with any country or anything. Okay, it is just in the absolute manner. So it is also known as destitution. Okay, destitution, I write down also, destitution. It refers to the lack of means necessary to meet basic needs such as food, clothing and shelter. Okay, and absolute poverty is meant to be about the same independent of location, that we are not comparing it with anyone. Okay, then second comes relative, and from the word itself you can know that it is compared to some other countries or something. It is relative manner, subjective. Okay, so it occurs when the people in a country do not enjoy a certain minimum level of living standard as compared to the rest of the population, and so would vary from country to country and sometimes within the country. Like in absolute, if you are not able to fulfill your basic needs, then you will be called poor. But in relative term, it will be in relation, or it will be subjective to the country. Okay, that how well is the country, like if certain minimum level of living standard is some kind of like let's say iPhone. Okay, I'm just giving an example. Okay, there's a one country who is rich in comparison to India, and the minimum level requirement that many people, that minimum requirement of phone is iPhone. Okay, so if I does not have an iPhone, and so I will be coming in the poor category. Okay, so it is basically in a subjective manner that you do not enjoy a certain minimum level of living standard as compared to the rest of the population. So it depends on the population only. Okay, so we cannot give any perfect measure like we have given in the absolute, that if you don't have basic not able to meet the basic need, then you will be poor. So it has no such criteria. It will be dependent on country to country. It may be different from US to India. Okay, so relative, if I talk about these two aspects, these are basically related to the income. Okay, so if I say that they only define poverty only in one dimensional, okay, that is income, or you can take anything like income, production of goods, and anything which you can see, but it is one dimensional. We only take one thing in this. Okay, we don't consider all the factors. Okay, and it does not include the multiple aspect to that constitute poverty. Like there are other aspect also which I told you earlier, that there is education, healthcare facilities, basic infrastructure, but it does not cover all this. So for this we have third type of poverty, that is multi-dimensional poverty. Okay, and you can also make out from the name also, it is made up of several factors that constitute poor people experience of deprivation, such as poor health, lack of education, inadequate living standard, lack of income, disempowerment, poor quality of work, etc, etc. Okay, threat from violence. Okay, so it considers many aspects of poverty. Okay, but earlier it was only one dimensional because it was only covering the one aspect of poverty. So it has a wide range to capture the complexity of poverty, and it is on the government hands that which indicator will you be choosing for your policy and everything. So it will be all dependent on the government. Okay, and different indicators can be chosen appropriately to the society and situation. So this is, everything is subjective. So that was all for today's class. Thank you guys for watching. And if you have